Hi everybody, here's Christian, and this is the Teamwork Cast.
Sega.
Beep boop boop boop. Beep beep.
Love it. It's beautiful.
We
We should do this again. This is amazing. I just wanted to never end. I just want to continue it forever. It's so beautiful. Of course, this jingle that you know so well is now the jingle of our Let's Play of Monsters and Generations, where we're gonna tackle another monster today.
It's the Rajang in the snow. It's from the Wounded Guard, and let's see, a crazy monster with 2 horns and mouth lasers showed up in the Arctic Ridge. What the heck are we supposed to do against something like that? Help us out here.
I just thought of an advantage of being in Germany.
Huh?
The prevalence of RGB SCART compatible displays.
There's a lot of those here. Yes.
However, there's a dark side. Many of those are likely 50 kilohertz only. But I'm sure if you knew what you were looking for, you could find 60 kilohertz too, right?
I think
Probably.
I don't think there is a difference. Is there?
Oh, absolutely. What? Christian?
Is there a difference, really?
What are you saying? Get this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, look, the love we have is strong and enduring.
PAL RGB and an NTSC RGB?
No. So when most people in the US are using RGB SCART, they're using what's called Euro SCART.
Yes.
But what I'm talking about is display sets that are capable of displaying 60 hertz content as opposed to 50 hertz content.
Yeah, okay.
Which is an issue. I mean, I understand kind of where people were going in Europe with higher resolution, potentially better images, but got to go fast.
Gotta get those extra frames. That's also important.
And as a result, you weren't going fast. But I would imagine that if you were looking for like CRT televisions that could do 60 hertz, at a certain point that was available in Germany.
Yeah, fun fact, back in the days when I played around with consoles and those CRT TVs, that was actually I was lucky. I bought like some random TV in like a cheap supermarket. And I was like very scared if that TV would support 60 hertz. And it did. Yep.
I would imagine after a while that's like just a thing. It was just as cheap to go ahead and add that in than
I mean, these are cheap made TVs. They want to, they don't want to produce like a special different TV set for a different country probably. And so they go like, okay, whatever. Just make them compatible with everything and pump them out like crazy.
Yeah. Well, I just in my Quest, just received a RGB SCART, although they're all compatible, but a special stereo-modded Sega Genesis came in just the other day. I haven't even played it yet. It's still kind of like hanging out in its box. But my collection grows, I guess.
So,
oh, God.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, fudge. Sorry, guys. It came out of nowhere.
I was hitting him in the butt.
This is a difficult quest.
It's just a Rajang.
Yeah.
He will die quickly. He's going to be... He lives a furious, short life.
Burning the candle from both ends, you were saying.
Absolutely. And he just like freaking like... somersault.
Also, it's in the snow, which reminds me of a board game I played the other day.
Yeah? Which one?
I played... Have you guys... I don't know if we discussed this. Time Stories?
Series. I saw it. I've never played it. And all I know is that most people don't like to talk about it because spoilers, I guess? I don't know.
It's difficult to talk about, indeed. And so this is not going to be a very long thing. But in case you don't know, Time Stories is a... How am I going to explain this? Time Stories is kind of like a board game system where you can buy stories for it and you can play them on the system, so to speak. It's kind of like an RPG, but instead of like you having to do, having like things where you write things on, it's like everything is solved with cards and tokens and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then you buy those expansion packs, which are like stories for this system. And each of the stories you can play through once. And after you play it through once, they're basically not replayable anymore, because a lot of them rely on like secrets and puzzles and stuff like that, which are kind of like
it would be difficult to add some replayability to them. Yeah. They could, they just don't.
So it's kind of weird, because you keep buying those expansions and then you play them just once. But so it's called time stories because it's kind of like, so the core set, so to speak, the system itself, it's kind of like this. You are a time travel agent, and you travel to different ages and different locations, and solve puzzles there, solve some problems there.
Do you have persistent characters?
No, because the idea is that you, every time you time travel, you warp into a host body from that period.
That's kind of cool.
And then so you can
with the
always
same
pick
knowledge,
different
or
characters.
you have your own knowledge. Are you? Do you know you're a time traveler when you're doing this stuff?
Yeah, you do. You do know, and sometimes there's like some special abilities that you get when you get into some different bodies. Like, I know you get like somebody who's like really really strong, and so you get like better fighting abilities or something.
Transform into Christian.
Well, in the recent one, I'm gonna spoil that much. You can be a dog.
That is great.
It's not really a spoiler because you can see it on the back when you turn around the box. You can see it.
Well, and I'm assuming like you pick up the game. It's like somebody's going to say who. All right, it's not if somebody wants to play as a dog. Who is playing as the dog?
Yeah, you seem like the first thing you do is literally pick a character in this game. So it's not really a spoiler.
Now, what is the normal playthrough time on these things? Does it take like 2 or 3 sessions to get through?
You can play it on an evening. You need like maybe 4 hours or so.
Okay, and I would assume something like that normally would go for about $20.
I'm not sure what the price is. I'm lucky enough to have like friends who bought it, and they always inviting me every time there's new sessions.
Like the base game is like $80, I think, and then like the extra stories are like $20-$30.
And the base game comes with a story. So
yeah.
And so, what is it that you get from the base game that you need to play these little expansion things? Just like
there's a board and lots of tokens and stuff like that.
Okay.
And also
$80 seems relatively expensive, but
yeah, it is. I don't know.
I'm
what the
assuming
price
there's
is.
some really high quality components.
It's pretty. Yeah, the price may be wrong, but board games typically are a little bit pricier than what you'd think they should be.
It looks pretty nice. It's like all white and like iPod style. It's.
It's definitely got that like an aesthetic, like very much like you feel like you're playing something like semi-mysterious.
Yeah. And it's like very neutral, so it works with like every theme. Because the way they did it, and every story that you do is basically like another like geek genre, so to speak. So there's like the zombie expansion. There's the
I want the dog expansion.
There's the RPG, like fantasy expansion. There's
so you can not only go to different times, almost like different realities in a sense.
Yeah, to some extent, because zombies obviously is like what.
I had a friend tell me that it was basically Quantum Leap, the board game.
It is, yeah, to some extent, yeah. It's a good explanation, yeah. Except it's not just one guy who quantum leaps; it's just like 4 people quantum leap at the same time. And there's like this cool thing where, and sometimes they use it in some of the stories they use it because every expansion has like its own mechanics that kind of like flip the script a little bit. So the way this works, sometimes you get like unreliable narrative situations where whenever you enter a room, everybody can like decide to examine a different part of the room, and they do this by picking up a card and reading the backside.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to read it aloud. You're supposed to explain to the others, like, "Oh, I'm looking at blah 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 blah," And sometimes it's like, well, the card says that you're not supposed to explain something. Maybe you got like possessed by some kind of spirit or something, and so you kind of are supposed to lie to the others about something because something happened. It's kind of like really nice. Oh my gosh, you guys captured him.
Good, because I didn't know where he was.
Me too. I was always lost. Anyway, so long story short, the newest expansion is something I think Cthulhu will enjoy because it's on the South Pole, Cthulhu.
When you play as the dog, do you just go like woof, woof, woof?
Yeah, so that was actually one of the problems on a recent the game, because the game didn't explain it so correctly. But when you're a dog, you cannot read.
That would be kind of unfortunate.
So this is a little bit weird. So the question was like, does it mean that I cannot actually read the cards? And I think the solution is that you can read the cards and you can also talk to the other people because you communicate with them telepathically. But you cannot actually read a document if you find one. So like, let's say you find a diary of somebody, but you cannot read the diary because you're a dog. You can pick it up, but you cannot read it. So yeah. It's good. So if you have like a group of 4 people that you play regularly with, I think it's a nice thing. It's a bit expensive, but I think a good idea is to, first of all, I'm pretty sure you can get used core sets online, because once you play through all the missions, then it's like there's nothing left. So I think a lot of people are selling them.
On Amazon, it's new is 50, and there are used ones for 40. So.
Yeah. And also another thing you can do is like you can, because it's usually once you buy it, you will probably stick with the same team and play through all of the stories with the same team. So it's a good idea to maybe, so to collect the money together and buy it together.
CC, or you could do like I used to do with one of my friends is, if I bought the game, you're buying the pizza.
Yeah, or something like this. Or you can even like have like 2 teams, and because that's the way we do it, we bought one core set, and there's like 8 people playing it, and just exchanging core sets whenever the other team needs it. It's a really cool thing. It's really fun, and the stories are really nice, and it's a cool thing to do with your friends. It's also probably really good for people who usually don't play a lot of board games, because it's very, very much a social experience.
Sounds good.
Like this Let's Play, guys. Let's this Let's Play.
I'll pick it up when I'm actually playing board games with friends again.
I like playing board games.
Board games are good. All right, guys. So we're gonna move on, and there's gonna be another exciting quest coming up in the next episode. I hope you will join us next time around. As always, good luck and good hunt. Spoiler alert, I was a dog this entire time.
Yeah, I knew it.
This episode brought to you by Squatty Potty. Remember, let it go, let it go, let the Squatty Potty help it flow.